Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Awake, Swedish Whiskey Girl, and today we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for all your support. It makes me so happy that you like the videos and that you want to keep watching. So today I thought we'd celebrate with something quite special. So this here is the Sirius 31yo. This is a blended malt from the North Star Spirits company that is based in Glasgow, and it's from First Full ex-bourbon casks. It is bottled 1,606 out of 3,582. It's bottled at 43.1%, but it is cask strength, which of course, when you have something that is 31 years old, you'd have to imagine that maybe after all that time in the casks, the angels have been quite greedy and taking a lot of it. So you've had a massive decrease in ABV. Could also be that they have spirits that have been so old that it's been below 40% ABV, that you've had to top it up with some other whiskies to get above 40%, which is of course the minimum for Scotch. And this series is also non-chill filtered, and it was distilled in 1988. I cannot remember what I was doing in 1988 because I wasn't born. Can you perhaps remember what you were doing? I mean, it's such a long time ago, and it's incredible that we have these really prestigious spirits that have been with us such a long time. This was also bottled in 2019, so last year. What I think is quite nice about the labelling of this as well is, of course, it's called Sirius, and they have some facts about the star constellation here on the back. For example, it's in Chinese astronomy, Sirius is known as the star of the celestial wolf, and it is about 8.6 light years from Earth and is the brightest star in the night sky. But of course, that doesn't really matter at the moment. We're going to have a little celebratory dram, and we'll start by having a look on the nose. Immediately reminds me of like a dusty library. It's like a dusty feeling that almost makes me sneeze because I'm allergic to dust. Quite waxy, like a candle. And very oaky, like cutting wood after rainfall perhaps. So where my parents live in Sweden, we have this way of heating the house that you need to keep a fire going, or you need to get the fire going and then you'll have heat for a bit and then you'll need to light a fire again. And so in the summers we'd spend a lot of time just cutting wood. Thank God that they have a little machine for it, but you still get used to that lovely scent of fresh wood, and that's what I'm getting on the nose of this. Almost like polished wood as well. Yeah, dust and polished wood and that kind of library sensation, like old books almost. And very waxy in a way, like candles. A bit of fruitiness. And like a dried apricot or dried like orange peel perhaps. It's quite robust on the nose. There's a lot of things happening. But then it's like this big whiff of something, and then underneath there's this more and more layers. It's almost like you're walking down to a cellar and then that cellar has another cellar, that kind of aroma experience. But of course, let's have a little taste. So slàinte to 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. But yes, slàinte. I'm very surprised by how robust it is. I mean, it says a 43% ABV, so I was expecting something much lighter and smoother, but it's quite oaky. I think that orange peel note or like orange pith note is still there. Very robust. It has this charry oakiness that reminds me of bourbon. So I think if you're a bourbon drinker, this might be a really nice one for you if you're looking to move over to Scotch. And actually for a 31-year-old, it sits at a really good price. So I would check out North Star Spirits just to kind of check their whiskey sites, because they sometimes bought all these really old blended malts for great prices. And of course, if you want to support me at the same time, check out my affiliate link. Now it's a lot of orange on the nose. It's almost like an orange scented candle with that polished wood underneath. Oh, this just reminds me of going to our winter cottage, which is this tiny little like cottage without any running water or basically heating, and it almost smells like this wonderful scent of wood when you walk in there. And definitely orange scented candles. Quite waxy on the texture and on the flavour as well. It's like if you chewed on an orange scented candle, maybe this is what you would get. But I think primarily what surprises me so much is that big, robust oakiness and the waxiness. So it's like a waxy oakiness. But yeah, it definitely reminds me of bourbon because of the big charry element that's there as well. And the charry element goes alongside the waxiness. So it's like first char and then it just kind of coats your palate as a waxiness. A very, very intriguing whiskey. It's I'm so happy because Cody bought this whiskey because he saw the price of it and thought it was amazing. And then he said you can open it when you reach 1,000 subscribers. So I'm so happy. And of course we opened it together and had the first sip. So this is my second sip. Yeah, waxy orange peel, like that orange pith bitterness alongside polished wood, dusty library, charry, bourbon-esque bitter notes and candle wax. That's what this whiskey is to me. It's interesting, it almost reminds me of cognac in a way. It has this dustiness to it and kind of in cognac I usually get a different kind of fruitiness. It's like dusty fruits. I don't know if that makes sense. But I think that dusty fruitiness along the charry element makes me think of cognac more almost than whiskey. I'm not sure. If you gave this to me blind, if I'd be able to pick out that it was whiskey, I mean probably, but I think cognac would be a very close second guess because it just has, or maybe bourbon, it's such a specific flavour and the nose as well. But we are going to try it with a little sip of water as well, just to see what happens, because it still feels very robust even though it sits at 43%, 43.1% ABV. Let's have a little look. Very much more subtle on the nose, but still that polished wood note. Also more of that orange, like warming orange note. Like more orange scented candles. But let's have a little taste as well. It goes a bit more velvety, less of the waxiness. But the waxiness is still there on the finish, but initially it just feels more rounded and more like orange, like an orange circle. A little bit more velvety and soft instead of that waxiness, which has like a coating, lingering feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but if you're, it's almost like I can only think of Swedish words at the moment, which annoys me, but it's this sensation that if you put anything else on it, it would just slide off. So it really coats your palate and sticks to your palate, but velvety and smooth, it just kind of goes past your palate, feels very soft and then disappears, whereas this waxiness really, really sticks to you. Yeah, polished wood and orange on the nose now. don't know if you can hear this, but my neighbour sings a lot. Not very well, but he's singing outside the window, so I'm very sorry if you can hear him. Still has a cherry element, but it's calmed down a bit. And I think the fruitiness allows a little bit more to come out, like that orange note. And it's a cherry orange with a bit of a vegetal note underneath, but the waxiness kicks in on the finish, and initially it feels very smooth and velvety instead. Still a little bit dusty as well, but more whiskey-like now than cognac with the water. But I would of course love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried anything from North Star Spirits? Have you tried the Sirius perhaps? Or have you tried any other whiskies that are around 30 years old? Please let me know in the comments below. I love hearing your thoughts. And as always, if you like what I'm doing on YouTube and my other social channels, I would be absolutely over the moon if you consider using my affiliate links the next time you're shopping with Master Malt, the Whisky Exchange, or the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. All the information is of course in the description here below, as well as links to my Patreon, my website, my Instagram and my Teespring shop. A massive thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon who keep supporting me throughout my whiskey journey. I really appreciate it. Well, I hope you've all had an absolutely wonderful day, and a massive slàinte mhath and skål to reaching 1,000 and perhaps to 1,000 more. Skål!